would you like to hear about how I possibly have messed something up pretty bad? Because I have a thing I think I've messed up pretty bad, and I feel pretty guilty about it, and it feels kind of crap. My brother, love my brother. Start off by saying, love my brother. I do, he's my brother, I love him. He's my younger brother, and he's been around a lot on my channel and stuff, and been in lots of streams with me, and I appreciate him, and you know what, he's alright. I feel particularly bad in this situation because I think I have inadvertently gotten him scammed for a not insignificant amount of money. Let's start from the beginning. So my brother had an Oculus Rift VR headset, and he decided, he said to me the other day that he was going to sell it and he was going to buy a Quest 2, like I have. He was going to buy one of those, and so he was like, oh, I found one, like on eBay. It was like secondhand but good condition, and it was like £150. And I was like, oh yeah, that sounds pretty decent deal. And then he was like, oh yeah, but it sold and I missed out, like I should have bought it quicker. And I was like, oh yeah, well, there you go. He was obviously still like considering whether he was going to buy it or not. And then he was going to sell the old Rift. And he gave the Rift to me and he was like, can you sell it for me? Can you like put it on eBay or whatever you're going to do? And he also wanted me to like clean it and fix it because I think one of the headphones had come off and it was a bit funny. So he wanted me to fix that. He had the money to buy the new one, so he didn't need the money from the old one to buy the Quest. So he missed out on this £150 one on eBay. So then he was like, oh, I'm just going to buy this one. It's 200. And I was like, well, that's a lot. You know, that's £50 extra. I was like, I'm sure you can get it cheaper than that. So then I started looking on like eBay and like Facebook Marketplace, seeing if anybody was selling one that was, again, you know, we're not bothered about it being secondhand as long as it's good condition. We can buy a new face plate bit anyway, so that he doesn't have to put on somebody's old dirty, sweaty face thing. So yeah, we were looking for a secondhand one, and I thought £200 seemed a lot, and if he'd already found one for 150, there's likely to be another one out there for 150. So then I started looking, and I found this one on Facebook Marketplace, which it's fine. Like, you can buy things for Facebook Marketplace. It's sometimes you find good deals on there and stuff. And I think it was 130. I want to say, I can check. I like said to him, I was like, oh wait, hang on, I found this one that's 130. Trying to save him some money. And get him a good deal, because I didn't want him to spend all this money if he didn't have to. So it was 130, and then plus delivery was like another extra 10 or something, 7 I think it was. So I found this, and then I told him, and he was like, oh yeah, no, that sounds good. And then I messaged the guy, because I'd already found it on Facebook, and I mean, I don't really use Facebook. I literally only use it for like Marketplace, but I was already on it, and I thought I'll just message the guy and say, is it still available? So I did do that. I messaged him to say, is this still available? You know, we're interested, or I'm interested. Obviously, he doesn't know it's my brother buying it, not me. But so I messaged him, and he got back to me fairly quickly saying, yeah, no, it's still available. And I was like, yeah, are we good on the 130? And he's like, yeah. And then he gave me like his phone number, and he's like, we can talk about it. And because I'm like me, and I don't want to talk to anyone on the phone if I can help it, I was like, oh no, like we're good just to pay the 130. Can you like deliver it? And he said, yeah, an extra £7 will do. DPD will deliver it. So basically I was just like, yeah, you know, we're good to go. Like, we don't need to discuss it. I like asked him, is it good quality, is it good condition? The pictures looked alright. I think the pictures looked fine, and he said it was like, he even like told me, he was like, oh yeah, I own like a small computer shop, and like we took it in as like part exchange for a PC or something. And I was like, oh no, yeah, though, that, you know, that's reasonable. He then sent me like a picture of his passport with his face and his name, so that he could like, I could feel comfortable that I knew who it was. He also sent me a video, which again, I didn't ask for either of these things. He sent me a video saying, I am so and so, just to confirm my identity. And I was like, right, okay, right, he's really wanting to make sure I'm cool with this, but that's cool by me. And like where would you get a picture of someone's passport? And the guy in the picture was the guy from the video, so that made sense to me. He gave me his mobile number. I think he told me his address. I want to check. So this is why I'm like confused. So I think it's been maybe a week. Yeah, like he sent me like an address. So again, all of it made me feel comfortable. 6th of June. What's the date? Okay, so it's probably been about a week. He sent me all this stuff, and I was like, yeah, no, that sounds good. And like, rather than like pass him on to my brother to go, Jake, you now talk to him and pay him and that. I was like, yeah, no, I'll just do the talking and you just pay him. Then he was like, so we got onto the payment. I was like, oh yeah, he asked for the address to ship it to, mobile number, email address and stuff like that for the delivery, he said. And I was like, yep, no, that's fine. Here's all the stuff. And then I was like, yeah, how do you want to be paid? Like, how do you want to do it? And he said that I think this was the red flag that I chose to ignore. And the reason I feel bad, he said, let's do Skrill. And I was like, I've heard of Skrill, but it's not like crazy. Well, I didn't think it was. It's not like he asked for a what do they call them? He didn't ask for like Bitcoin. He didn't ask for like, what was it? Like a Western Union transfer or, that typically very easily dodgy stuff. He didn't ask for any of that. He just asked for the Skrill. And I was like, oh, I did even ask. I was like, can we do PayPal? Because like, oh, that's easier. We already have PayPal. And he's like, oh no, like, because it's through my shop. It goes through the same system that we use in the shop. Yeah, it's better for the tax man or something. And I was like, okay, that's fine. When he says better for the tax man, that sounded dodgy. I think he meant so it showed as like a taxable thing. Because I assume, like he said, if he took it in, if he had taken it in as part exchange for a PC, that makes sense that it is owned by the business and the business sells it and then it's a business profit. That made sense to me. And I was like, okay, I've never used Skrill, but fine, we can like set up an account and Jake can set up an account and he'll pay you. So Jake set up an account and he paid him, right? And this is a week ago. I understand that shipping takes time, but like Jake messaged me this morning saying like, oh, can you just chase up the guy? Because I haven't received anything yet. And I was like, yep, no, that's fine. I'll just jump onto Facebook and I'll drop him a message. And I jumped onto Facebook and I went to the messages and his profile isn't there anymore. Like I can read all the messages we've got, but when I try and click on like his picture to like go back to his profile, it's not there. It's not there. His picture is not even there. It's like the little silhouette of the person. So now I'm a little upset, and I think I might have got my brother scammed out of £140. And I feel bad about that because it was on me. It was on me. I suggested it to him, so I feel really goddamn guilty about it. And Jake, if you watch this, I'm sorry if that's the case. Like, he's given me his phone number. He's given me an address. So, I mean, I'm not going to drive to his address because it's not close by. I could do. Like, I have an address. I don't know if it's legitimate. He could have just made up an address or like picked any random address, which maybe, again, I should have looked into more when I was a little bit sus on the whole thing. I should have like Google Street viewed the address, but then that wouldn't have helped me because if it's just his home address anyway, it'll look like a house. So yeah, I've got his phone number. I've tried to send him a text, but classic trying to sort something out, signal in my area is dog shit today. The message won't send, but it's probably just a freaking number that doesn't go anywhere. It's like a burner account. I don't know. If it is a scam, like, I would have been scammed by this. Like, it's not just the fact that it wasn't my money and it was, I wasn't buying it, that I was like happy for Jake to take the risk. Genuinely, I would have been scammed by this as well, because he sent me so many things and the conversation was so normal. He asked for addresses. Like, normally if they're going to scam you for something, they'll be like, yeah, just send it. He was like so specific about we're using DPD and yeah, no, we'll get it sorted. He sent me messages after the fact saying, yep, it's going to be picked up like today. I'm hoping that something has gone wrong with his Facebook or gone weird with his Facebook or something, but the parcel's on its way, because if not, again, I feel like a big asshole who's got my brother scammed. And I'm not saying Jake can't like afford it. He can afford it. He's not spending what he can't afford, right? He is working. Well done, Jake. He's doing better than me. But still, just because he can afford it doesn't mean he wants to waste money. And I'm sorry. I feel really bad. I'm a person that genuinely like takes these things quite hard. I'm not going to cry about it or anything, but I just feel poopy about it. I just feel real bad. And I'm sorry. But I hope it all works out. If not, I don't even know if there's anything I can do. Like, I don't have the money to give Jake the money and go, I'm sorry. I don't even have the money to give him half the money and say, look, half my fault. Here's 70 quid back. I don't have it. My bad. And I don't know what I can do. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the development, but that's my fun thing for the day is that, yeah, I feel poopy about this. So